Okay, guys. So basically, what I'm going to be running through today is the way in which you can effectively close clients into a program, into a business, into whatever it is you're looking to close someone into. It's an effective way of closing. At the moment, as it currently stands, a lot of people are focusing on the sale as such. They're looking to do like this push towards and corral someone into saying yes. They're afraid of actually digging down on the problem. So what I'm going to be doing is teaching you effective NLP techniques. So neuro-linguistic programming of how to effectively ask somebody a question to get them to speak more than you speak. Because a lot of the time we find on sales calls, we need to sell ourselves. But for myself, I found the most effective way to actually sell is to get multiple people to sell to me why I should work with them. So it's going to be a flipped script. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And I'm going to go through 10 major components, which a lot of you have seen already. It's around the client file, the building rapport. If you're inside our inner circle, you've seen the things we've done in there. So what I'm going to do is effectively go through exactly how to chunk down, how to ask effective questions. Can everyone please mute their screens as well if you haven't muted already? Awesome. So what I'm going to do, guys, is basically I'll start with the client file. This is probably the most integral part of what you're actually going to do when bringing on a new client. The reason as to why the client file is so important is because you need to understand the type of languaging you're going to use while speaking to your client. So what I mean by the client file is this. It's simple. When you get a new client, you should be recommending whether you've got them from a cold lead, whether they've come from a warm lead, or doesn't matter where they've come from. This client should be added in some form or another into your overall, I guess, social media network. Meaning you should add your client into your network so you can actually get to understand who they are. So what I mean by this, guys, is that if you're looking to be, I guess, talk to someone and you don't know anything about them and you're just talking to them on the phone, the problem that you're going to face is you don't know what type of person they are, what they're doing, or what they're about. So you need to build a client file. So a client file is basically a bit of a niche stalk. It's an understanding and a stalk of the person. So you know exactly what they're about. So understand what are their likes and interests. Social media is an amazing thing, guys. Social media is an amazing thing. We can literally find out everything about anybody in this day and age. And the reason why that is because social media makes it so accessible for that information to be given there. So before you get onto a call with anybody, you should be focusing on what are their interests. So let's say, for example, if I was to develop a client file, what I would do, and the first thing that I would do in terms of that client file, wait one sec, yeah. What I would do in terms of that client file would be, I'd sit there and I'd go, okay, so let's say, for example, if Ben was my new client, let's use Dingo, for example. I'd add Ben Dingo on Facebook. I'd go through his Facebook. I'd realize he's in the military. I'd realize he used to play rugby league. I'd realize he has a partner. I'd realize he's a personal trainer. I'd have all these things and these realizations and I know everything there is to know about Dingo for the fact that that way, when I'm speaking to Dingo, I can use metaphors and things around Dingo's interests. There would be no point me getting on the phone with Dingo and going through certain things like, okay, I'm going to talk about AFL. He's never watched a game in his life. I'm going to talk about horse riding. He's never ridden a horse. You're not going to talk someone's language unless you know what they're about and what their interests are. The next second component, after you've developed your client file, so what I generally do is before I get on a phone call, I'll go, as I said, go straight to their social media. I'll look in all the different things, what their interests, write down a list of things, write down a list of key points. So male, 25, 35, likes rugby league, has a partner, blah, 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 blah. So I'll write all these things down. The next thing and the most important thing is the building of rapport. So during the process of either talking to the person, whether you're reaching out to that person or whether you're talking to that person for the first time on the phone, you need to build massive amounts of rapport based around what you've found inside of their client file. So rapport comes through similarities, relatabilities. The easiest way to develop rapport with a person is to share experiences in which the both of you have had that allow you to relate. So if you're somebody that has a partner or has had a partner, the simple way to build rapport and break down walls through NLP is through effective languaging, saying things along the line of, yeah, I can relate. My partner and I, yeah, I can relate. I remember watching this game of. So things that they're going to understand the language you're using. So all of a sudden, you're understanding. So if you're somebody that is talking to somebody that has a partner and you don't have a partner, use past experiences or use experiences of friends that do have partners. Oh, I have a friend and him and his girlfriend have been together about the same amount of time as you and your partner. Then all of a sudden he's like, okay, he understands the relationship dichotomy. He understands what it has to be a partner. He may not have a partner, but he gets it because he has a friend that has one. That's building rapport. You need to spend minimum 5 to 10 minutes on just building rapport before you go into anything. It should just be like you're talking to a friend that you haven't seen in years. Don't want to rush through calls. A lot of the time we think that we need to just push. The colder the lead, the more, I guess, outlandish where they've come from, so we're not sure where they've come from. The further out of our network this person's come from, the more rapport we need to build in order to actually get the person to trust. Rapport equals trust. If they don't trust you, they will not buy from you. Guys, if you've tried to buy a girl a drink and then take her home after the first drink, you get slapped. Girls, if a guy's tried to buy you a drink and take you home after the first drink, you get slapped. Dingo is laughing at this, so is Taylor, because I reckon Dingo tried that one. So you see, guys, that's the thing. You can't fuck on first dates. I just don't know how else to say it. It's simple as that. Like, the client doesn't want you to jump into bed with them after you say, hey, my name's da-da-da-da, this is what I'm about, da-da-da-da-da, let's go, let's buy from me. No. So it's a client file to build rapport. Then once you've built massive amounts of rapport, just ask generic things like, how's your day been? What's been going on? The next thing you do is, if this is a client that you're generating, which I'm teaching each and every person that is inside of my inner circle how to generate organic leads. If you're generating leads organically, you want to take them from a public platform, meaning the Facebook, Instagram newsfeed, to a private platform. Instead of talking about their life story in front of everyone where they're not going to open up, you want to take them to the private platform. That way you can start to relate. What I generally do when I talk to people is I'll talk to people and build rapport for 3 or 4 days before I even suggest jumping on a call with myself. I will talk to people for 3 or 4, 5, even sometimes 2 weeks before I even suggest jumping on a call. This is something I spoke to Ryan Trung about, and he said to me, he said at the start of his call, it gets so frustrating, I hate talking for ages. Think of it this way, you've been positioned in a high-ticket closing program where we've designed a program that's getting as a high-ticket sale, and you go to work for 40 hours a week and get paid probably $1,000 or less, but yet you're not willing to put in a week's worth of work to get paid twice the amount. What's the philosophy behind that? Like, warming a person, building rapport, developing a client file. When you actually focus on developing that over and over and over again, and over-developing the rapport you have with that client, that's when they begin to trust, begin to seed the idea that you are a friend, not trying to purchase, not trying to sell them something. You're not a salesperson, you're a friend. So this is the intricacy part. So guys, this is where I really want you to take note, because this is the high-level NLP stuff. So this is what's called the 5 whys. Those of you that know this or understand this, that have done NLP, will understand the form of chunking up, chunking down, and chunking lateral. So what we're going to be doing now is talking about the 5 whys and how to effectively chunk down during a phone call, during a conversation. So a lot of the time I'm going to use health and fitness, because that's where the majority of the guys on this call are health and fitness based coaches. Majority of the time you've got that personal training background where it's like, all right, the client comes in and goes, so what do you want to achieve? And they go, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, awesome. Then we generally go, okay, how much weight do you want to lose? Oh yeah, awesome. So why do you want to lose that? Oh, because I want to get ready for summer. And it stops there. The person's only then having to make maybe a $17, $18 a week investment, or $45, $50, $55, $70 every couple of weeks to go to a personal trainer. It's not a massive investment, but they've stopped there on about the second level. So the second level of substance. What we need to do is we need to dig down 5 whys. So this is where NLP comes in. So what you do is it's called chunking down, and all you need to simply do is, but why? But why? Unpack that for me. Go lower. So the client comes in. You've got a client on the phone and they've seen you put a post up about something about weight loss. They go, awesome. Count me in. They type bikini in the comments, whatever you choose to do. They type bikini, go, awesome. So let's say the lady's name's Karen for now. We use Karen all the time. So Karen, why did you opt in for the, hey Karen, nice to meet you. Why did you opt in for the bikini bod challenge? Oh, because I want to look good in a bikini. Awesome. So why do you not feel good in a bikini at the moment, Karen? Oh, well, because I got a few extra kilos around here and there. I'm holding a little bit. Okay, so why is that important for you to lose those? How does that make you feel? I'm 3 levels deep now. Oh, basically, I'm feeling a little bit, feeling a little bit insecure about my body. Okay, awesome, Karen. And how does that insecurity make you feel? So now I'm chunking laterally. So I'm getting to express the feeling. She's now attached it from a visual representation to an emotional representation. She's now chunked down from I don't like what I see to now I'm attaching emotion towards this. So Karen, why do you feel that way? Like how do you feel when you see yourself in the bikini? Oh, well, basically, I don't enjoy what I see in the mirror. Have you got a partner, Karen? At this stage, I would have already known whether she does or she doesn't. If at this stage, if she says no, I then know it's going to be linked back to that. So I say, okay, Karen, so have you got a partner? And she'll be like, okay, oh, no, I don't. Well, do you believe that maybe there was a past representation of when you were with your partner that they made you feel insecure about your body? So I know where it's going because I know that people hold emotion about their physical appearance based upon the internal representation of themselves. So I use assumptive questioning. So I assume things. So be wary. Like think, if you were Karen, what would you be feeling? Why would you hate your body right now? You know that a partner said something to you in the past, a mate said something to you in the past, a family member, somebody said something to you. So to get to from the third chunk where we generally stop to the fourth chunk, you need to use assumptive questioning. So assume what the answer will be and direct the person towards their fourth chunk. So basically, Karen, I get that. I understand that your partner made you feel a little bit insecure. Generally at this stage, they'll be a bit taken back. Oh, no, it's not that. Oh, no, I just want to look good in a bikini. Stay on this for a little bit because their subconscious mind at this stage, once you go 3 levels down to the 4th and 5th, where the actual deep and the depth is of the why, people start to protect this because this is their subconscious mind. You're making them consciously aware. During this moment, they go into what's called the crocodile brain, which is the front of the brain, which is flight or flight, which is basically whether they're going to fight and fly away. So at this moment, they'll sit there and they'll be like, no, I'm fine. Like, there's none of that. This is how to disarm somebody when they're feeling that way. This is how I say it, and this is NLP. You need to comfort people. I sit there and say, Karen, it's okay to be vulnerable right now. I get it. That key distinction of words and that set of wording, it's okay to be vulnerable right now, allows them to put the walls down to go from their 3rd level to their 4th level. 4th and 5th level whys and 4th and 5th level depths are where you will find the true essence as to why this person wants the result. At that moment, a lot of people, male or female, they'll generally understand this philosophy. They'll understand the fact that they're now about to become vulnerable. Emotion starts to kick in. When you sit there and dig through 3 whys, which is your conscious mind, it's protecting your subconscious. When you dig through 3 to your 4th and 5th, and you start to get deep, this is where people start to, as I say, get defensive. But you need to give them constant reassurance by creating relatability. I've been there, Karen. I get that. I understand that. My partner's been through that. I know how you must feel. I myself. Give those terms so they don't feel like it's an interrogation. Who here's felt like they've tried to ask clients and get to the 5th why and they've just interrogated the absolute shit out of the client? But why? And the client's just like, what the hell are you doing? Leave me alone. Like, is this 21 questions in 21 seconds? Because you're knowing where you need to get to, but the client doesn't, it feels like they're put on the spot. Put your hand up and be honest if you felt like you've asked all the clients these questions before trying to get an answer so you can get an in. Yeah? Dingo's got his hand up. Everyone's sort of giving me a smile. Yeah? Because we're just asking question. So the client feels like they're pinned up against the wall and you've got a gun to their face and like, tell me everything about you. So you need to create that relatability and that connection so the client can then feel as though they can trust to give you their inner, deepest secrets, which are your 4th and 5th level consciousness. Once you go to 4th and 5th level of the why, that's where you start to really understand the vulnerability behind why this person's done it. So we dig to 4th. And let's say, for example, Karen, will you keep using Karen? At this moment, she starts to feel emotion because she's attached emotion towards her subconscious and conscious belief systems, which are deep. So we go, okay, Karen. So let's say, Karen, you have got some body issues from your past. How do you feel if you were to hold on to those issues forever? How would you feel if you were not to get past those issues and maintain them for the rest of your life? So to go from 4th to 5th, you need to future pace. You need to pace the representation of where they have for themselves in the 4th level, sorry. So you've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd. By the time you get to 4th level now, you're starting to get them to the next representation through a future pace to say, are you happy with your 5th level of your why behind yourself? Would you be happy to maintain this for the future? At this point, the client has got emotion behind the fact that they don't want to see that. They don't want to hold on to that. They don't want to be sitting there holding on to this anymore. And so they go, you're right. And their subconscious mind lets go of the emotion, allows it to become consciously aware that they need to change. at that moment, you'll get the client go, I don't want to hold on to this. So what you do from here is what's called future pace and seeding. So write this one down. This next topic is called future pace and seeding. Once you allow the client to go from their subconscious to their conscious thought patterning and release that emotion to allow you to help them to change, you say, awesome. So Karen, what I'm going to say is this right now. I've been working with many people before, just like yourself. You see, the thing is that you have the ability to be able to be this person. You have the ability to be able to do this. But right now, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. You have the ability. So Karen, what I want you to do, and during a future pace and a seed, so you have the ability, you've done it, it's done, those sorts of terminologies, that she has done it, she's already committed. What you do now with Karen, with the person, is that the future pace will then allow them to see that it's already been done. Whilst you're doing this, you're doing other two major components of metaphors and storytelling and use of testimonials. So during a future pace, while you're getting people motivated, so it's like that feeling of like, yeah, I can do this, and get them to repeat back to you, I can do this, I will do this, I have done this. You're getting them to be future paced through use of metaphors and stories. Metaphors and stories are so effective with use of testimonials because it allows that relatability to become enhanced. So once the client, as I said, so I'll just break it back down for you. You've built rapport, you've already got the client file, you've built rapport, and then you've taken them from a public to a private platform. Then you've got them from there onto a phone. Then you've went through the 5 whys. You went down to the 3rd why, dug down to the 4th why, opened up the 5th why. Now you've extracted the 5th why, their internal representation of themselves, put that as the point to change. Then what you've done from there is you're now starting to do future pacing and seeding, metaphors and storytelling. Because what happens now is when people are in a vulnerable state, they start to switch off. So metaphors create a visual representation of what's actually going to happen. Future pacing in conjunction with metaphors is what's actually going to happen. So during this stage, I'll be like, Karen, it's okay. I get it. What you've been going through is perfectly normal. I had a client just like yourself. Her name was, mention the client's name. Think of your repertoire of clients you've worked with, you know of, people that you've seen results through, whether you're an NLP coach. Doesn't matter if you don't have any clients, you still use the idea and the concept that somebody you've seen has got this representation, or somebody you've seen has got this result from NLP, which you're a master in. So you use representations of current testimonials from either yourself or other coaches. And then you go, I saw a client just like yourself, Karen, who was also a single mum that had been left by her partner with emotional scarring, just like you. I worked with her for, mention the duration of your program. She was also able to lose X amount of kilos, which is similar to that of Karen. So then all of a sudden she's just going, hang on, I didn't think I could do it. I suppressed it. Now it's in the emotion. And James said I can change. Now I can change. Susie's also done it, so I can do it. Now she's got massive belief. So what we're doing here is we're instilling this belief till it becomes comes from a subconscious belief pattern to a conscious, and they're consciously like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And they start to be like that Thomas the Tank Engine. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then all you have to do is hatch onto that, and they can, they will, they have. So what you do is you then have this belief system where it's like, I have done this, I will do this, I can do this. Then from that, the future pace is like, okay, now what I want you to do, Karen, is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize what you would look like in 3 months' time. Most of us, majority of us, should be selling between an 8 to 12 week program if you're doing the coaching this way. I want you to look at yourself in 3 months' time. So that's 12 weeks. Karen, now what I want you to do is I want you to visualize yourself walking down the beach in that bikini. Give her a metaphor around what she wants, having lost 25 kilos. She now has all 4 components of the VACAD. So visual, auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital. That's the 4 components of VACAD. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital. So she has a visual representation. She has a kinesthetic, meaning she's emotionally attached, feeling it. Auditory, digital, she's replayed a movie in her mind. Okay? So visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and auditory, digital. Auditory means she's heard that it can be done. So guys, they had those 4 representations. She's feeling emotion. She's seeing it. She's visualizing it. She's believing it. She's now loving it. So what you do now is you can continue to future pace, do this for around about 2 to 3 minutes. Just get her feeling that emotion, get them to feel the emotion of what they're going to do and what they're going to achieve when they work with you. This next part is the tricky part. This next part is my personal favorite. I'm going to say it's probably the most effective part, because this which actually changes the whole dynamic of the actual call. It's called the rip. So this is where you sit there and say to the client, awesome. So you want this body, but unless you're willing to commit today, you're not going to get it. At this moment, the client goes back into fight or flight mode, and it's your responsibility to sit there and go, but hey, I want to work with you. Hey, but I will give you this opportunity. So their whole mindset around the belief systems that they can do this now gets ripped away from them. They can't do this unless they have you. So by ripping it away and saying, unless you're ready to commit today, you won't get this change. All these visual representation, these auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital, everything they've just been thinking about for the last 5-10 minutes that was possible now no longer exists, and you're literally holding it like a bag of gold in your hand and they're trying to grab at it. That's what the rip is. You want to feel a visual representation of you going, all right, you've said this, you wanted it, you've visualized it, you've believed it. No, you're not getting it. At that stage, the client is willing to just run and crawl, scratch, do whatever to actually get to that gold, because now you have complete control. So then what you do is go, so Karen, look, I really like your story and I believe that you are somebody that I could work with, but I just can't see this commitment from you. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Of course it is. She'll start sitting there yelling, screaming, hoping, wanting this really, really bad. And you'll say, are you sure this is what you want? At this stage, Karen's there sitting there and she's like, okay, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, as opposed to you've pitched her the entire time. She's now sitting there like, fuck, I have to do this. What do I have to do to get this? So when you get to the objection of money, it's not there, because she's already attached her entire self-worth. So she went from wanting a bikini body to now attaching her entire self-worth towards what we're about to do. So she sits there and she goes, awesome, I'll have to do this. I don't get to do this. Like, she doesn't have a choice now. I have to do this. Otherwise, I don't get anything I saw in the future. That's all gone because James now holds the keys. So you use the rip, and then what you do is go simply as this. So because of how committed you are, and because I can see that you're somebody that wants to change, look, I'm going to do a deal for you. Now what you do is you do what's called a value stack. You say, this is what it generally costs. So inflate the value of the program. I generally charge between about $7,000 to $8,000. If you're a 4K program, double it or put an extra 50% on top. So I generally charge between $5,000 or $6,000. But for yourself today, because I know that you're struggling, I know that you've been a single mum, and I know that you're looking for somebody to believe in you. So show that belief again. I'm willing to do it for, then mention your price. And furthermore, so as an added bonus, I'm happy to break down a deposit with you. By breaking down a deposit, by minimizing the cost, by showing how much they're going to pay. So sit there and say, normally this costs X, Y, Z. This is what other people charge. This is what that. Do value stack, value stack, value stack, value stack. Show value, show value, show value. When they see that, they just think you're the most amazing person God ever put breath into. And they're like, thank you so much. They thank you for letting them have the opportunity, as opposed to you having to pitch them on the entire program. If you're pitching them, trying to convince them, you're not going to get a result. So the next part after the rip is the part called the close of the sale. During this part, this is when they start to calm down. You're like, awesome, I will give you the opportunity. So like, awesome. What you need to do now is you need to skittle their brains through humor. The easiest way to get people to laugh is to just make jokes. The easiest way to get people to laugh is to use things that are relatable. So if I'm a male talking to a female, I'll say, awesome. So Karen, look, I'm so glad. Like, I love that I get to give you this opportunity. I'm so pumped. So what I'm going to do now is just go through the process of our payment system, 21 questions in 21 seconds. And you're probably going to hear me go silent. And she's like, what do you mean? Oh, well, I'm a typical male. I can't do two things at once. I can't multitask. All of a sudden she's laughed. She's forgot about the fact she's about to put her credit card details through. She's laughing. She's relaxed. Laughter creates relaxation, as opposed to this tense feeling of like, oh shit, now I've got to pay. So just make them laugh. How you feeling? Constantly check in. So during the close, you want to constantly check in. You want to check in with the client minimum, I'd say every minute and a half, 2 minutes. How you feeling? I'm feeling pumped. And then don't allow them to actually say how they're feeling. Say how you're feeling that they should be feeling. So during the close, write that down. Let you control the feelings that they have right now. Let you control how they should be feeling. Karen, how are you feeling? She'll go, oh, I'm a little bit. No, I'm pumped. You should be pumped. Like, remember what we just spoke about? Remember how good it looks, what you're going to look like? You're going to be looking banging in the next 3 months. You're going to be looking good. So that sort of stuff is going to have her laughing. She'll remember. She'll hold on to emotion, hold on to this, hold on to that. And all of a sudden, she's not thinking about the bank details. She just does it subconsciously, because nearly every one of us on this call, I can guarantee, know, especially the ladies. I always seem to get ladies that know their card details off by heart, online shopping perhaps. So they always seem to know that. So the ladies can always go, what's your card details? They can rattle it off for you in 5 seconds. So once you're doing that, you've just got a whole relaxed dichotomy, a whole relaxed relationship, as opposed to, oh, now I have to give my card details and all this sort of stuff. And just have humor. Have humor for the last 5 minutes of the call. That's the final part of the close. Just before you finish the call, this is the most important part. You want to raise the energy and you just want to say these things. I always get the client to reaffirm that they're going to do this. Just say, Karen, from this moment forward, your life is going to change. Say it after me. I can. I will. I have. Get them to say that, reaffirm that. So the last emotional connection they have of that call isn't a state of fear, but is a state of positivity. Because how many of us have had clients that have dropped off, that we've got through the sales process, we've got through the close, they've sat there shit scared, and they're like, oh, is there a cooling off period? And they ask you all those questions. Like, yeah, we'll worry about that later. And you just try to get off the call. No, stop, reflect, say to them, how are you feeling? I can, I will, I have, I can, I will, I have, I can, I will, I have. Get them to affirm it 3 times. That is how they reaffirm from their subconscious mind to their conscious mind through their spoken word. They actually start to believe that this is possible. By getting to them, affirm it to the atmosphere, I can, I will, I have, it's done. That's how you get them to reaffirm. By getting them to say those words, reaffirming everything you've spoken about, go back over everything they believed in. So your value, you're basically putting them in that safety bubble that you created of their future. So you've got this visual representation of you can, you have, it's already done. That's the final thought process they have. And then that's their representation of what's going to happen next. So guys, what I want us to do, is there any questions around that? So that's basically from start to finish, how you would do an entire sales process. So guys, what questions have you guys got for me? And I'm happy to answer any. Benno, you always love a question.
I do love. Oh, me or?
You, let's go. What do you got?
Oh, okay. With the 5 levels, have you got like names for each level? Like what you're trying to achieve, or you just going deep?
That's just 5 whys. So they're all a why. It's a why attached to emotion. So why is that important? Why is that important? Why is that important? It's just called 5 whys.
Yeah. But the goal of that, did you say something about like the external representation of themselves?
So
that's where you want to end up.
The external representation of themselves. So who they see them as externally is the first 3 levels, and their internal representation is the 4th and the 5th level. So 1, 2, 3 is who they see in the mirror. 4, 5 is who they see inside themselves.
Ooh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, we've got, what about objections to just saying the program's too expensive? Wait, what's So what about objections to the program's too expensive? So Ryan, to answer that one, if you're getting to the back end of the program and they're saying it's too expensive, you haven't attached the representation of what this program means for that person to change. Does that make sense? So if the person's looking to say this is too expensive, then what the problem that they face then is that they haven't actually got an internal representation of why they should change. So the person's like, okay, it's too expensive, but if you ever get to that stage, I don't generally get many objections anymore, just to be honest with you guys. But the too expensive one, the easiest way to diffuse that is, what price do you put on your health? Are you really putting a price on your health right now? Is your health worth less than this right now? And then what you do is you do a value stack compared in a comparison between what they're spending money on now and what they can save money on. Because you see, eating healthy is a much healthier way. Eating healthy is a much healthier and much cheaper way. Does that make sense? All right. Eloise, yes. So everyone that was on this tonight, I'm going to give a recording to, so you'll be able to do it. So you'll be able to see that, you'll be able to go through the recording as well. So does anyone want to do a live objection? I want to show you guys exactly how you can do this. Would someone like to do that with me? I'm happy to do that and show you some objections and quick stuff like that. That sound good? Yeah? Adam, jump on. Let's go. I'll show you. I'll do 10 minutes of objection handling just to give you guys a bit of the muscle build up and show you how to do it. And then I can show you how I can relate it back to the person, okay? Let's go, Adam. You there?
Hey man, how you going?
Good, man. Good. So what objections have you been facing? Hit me.
Yeah, usually just the price objection, to be honest, man.
Where are you dropping the price in the program?
Not until like actually the pitch, but I actually haven't done any calls for like a few weeks. So I had no leads, and I sort of been away for a couple of weeks. But I just want to do a bit of practice with you if you got a chance.
So what you need to represent is when you're doing this, is that when you're at the start of the call, this is another thing, guys, which is important. You jump on the call and you say, by the way, this is what you need to say. By the way, this is going to be a premium price program. The reason why it's premium price is because I don't work with everybody and anybody. This isn't a cookie cutter model and a one size fits all. So this is a premium price program, and I will make the decision of what the price will be based upon what you require to need at this given moment. So you show that there's like multiple avenues. So in terms of the price objection, as I said to Ryan as well, it's going to be representative of whether or not you've hit that person's pain. Because you would only object to something. Let's say, for example, for you right now, if I said, Adam, you need a kidney transplant, it's going to cost you $10,000, or otherwise you're going to die. You're going to find $10,000.
That's right.
Probably sell your car.
Yep.
Probably do whatever you have to do. Probably go to a bank, go to a loan, credit card, whatever it's going to be. You're going to do that. So that's because that's a high level worth of pain. That's a high degree of pain and, I guess, vulnerability. But if someone's still sitting in the 3 levels of their conscious mind and their external belief system that, oh, I just want to look good in a bikini, their representation is, oh, I can just do this, this, and this. I can go take this pure. I can go do this weight loss. I can go do this for cheaper, this for that. They're looking for all these objections as to why your program isn't worth the value.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
But once you attach your emotion, their emotion towards the value of your program, the objection towards price shouldn't come about. Because the person's like, well, fuck, it's life or death right now. Like, if you've went 5th levels deep, so if you want me to, I can do this really quickly with you right now if you want, Adam, if you want to do it right now. We'll do it now. So let's say, for example, you're a health and fitness client. I'll go 5 levels deep on you right now. You've downloaded a free resource. It's how to get a 6-pack guide before summer. So I'm like, Adam, so why is it important for you to get a 6-pack guide before summer?
Oh, because I'm just, I'm a bit overweight, to be honest, man. I want to lose a few kilos and get those abs out.
So how many kilos you got to lose?
Probably 8 or 9 kilos, I'd say.
So you're not going to die, but you sort of want to lose a little bit of weight here and there, yeah?
Yeah, just get those abs out. It's the main thing.
Abs for women? Or is it for girls? You got a partner?
No, I don't have a woman, man. I'd like to fucking get one if I could. Just getting, look a bit fucking better and attract some sexy woman.
That's it, man. So I guess it's obviously that appeal of wanting to look for women. So you're wanting to obviously start to sit there and like attract the right partner, that sort of stuff. So how long have you been in a relationship for?
About 18 months.
About 18 months. And what was the breakup over that?
Oh, just arguing about stupid shit.
Yeah. So you just say you sort of started to binge eat a little bit since then, or you've let yourself go because obviously you're not focusing on that as much, focusing on maybe business?
Yeah, that's right, man.
So you're focusing on the business sort of thing. And I guess for yourself, it's like, how do you see yourself right now? If you've got 8 to 10 kilos, you're probably a little bit around the midsection. Do you see yourself the same way as what you once did?
Nah, man, I sort of lost a lot of my self-confidence and not really, feeling that proud of myself, to be honest.
So in terms of the self-confidence, is that, do you reckon, the thing that's holding you back from finding a partner?
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you say? Do you value having a partner?
Yeah, man, for sure.
So at the moment, you're probably sitting there and you're like, well, I'm valuing having a partner, and I get that, man. Like, I've been in that situation, bro. I hate that. I hate that feeling of not wanting to wear a shirt or wanting to wear a shirt and not wanting to have the abs out because I don't have the abs at the moment, and I get that. And it's hard, man, because you want to find that partner, and obviously we're in a pretty day and age where everyone's sort of a bit superficial and they want to focus on, I guess, that physical appearance. So for yourself right now, it's probably confronting because you just don't feel confident in yourself. You got to love the skin you're in, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I get you.
Where else do you reckon that representation's holding you back? Like, where else do you feel like you're not enough?
Yeah, it just sort of presents itself, I guess, in all areas of your life. Just not feeling very confident, and man, just holds you back in general,
So if you were to say, in terms of like with your ex-partner, when you guys broke up, were you feeling as though it was maybe like a sense of you lost a little bit of self-worth and you didn't feel like you were enough for her, or was it enough for yourself? How did you feel in terms of yourself?
I guess when you sort of lose a partner over whatever, and you just feel like you do lose a bit of self-worth, and yeah, I guess you just lose that confidence, and you don't feel the same about yourself.
100%, man. So if I was to say this to you, like, let's just be honest, like, we have what's called an I amness triad, which is I am worthy, I am lovable, I am enough. If you're not loving the person you see staring back in the mirror, and as they say, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. If you're not loving that person, do you feel as though you're going to find the right partner?
No, you're probably right, man. I guess I won't.
So if you're not loving yourself right now, are you going to sit there and you're going to be focused on the fact that you're not getting to be that person that you once were? And if you're not having the partner now, how old are you, Adam?
28.
So you're probably looking to find a partner, settle down sort of thing right now. So at the moment, like, the whole future idea of coming towards having kids and stuff in the future is probably looking a little bit grim. Probably got family and that around you saying, geez, you don't have a partner right now. You're not married. You're 28, nearly 30. You're not getting any younger, all that sort of stuff. So you're attaching this emotion towards not having a family. You're right.
Yeah, that's right, man. Exactly.
So would you say so much is about getting the abs out? Is it more about finding that dream partner and actually allowing yourself to become that dad and actually have a family in the future because your representation of yourself isn't that good?
Yeah, when you put it like that, man, I guess it is more about, getting that partner and actually having a family.
So being able to find that partner, man, like, if I was to say to you now, bro, like, I've worked with plenty of people like yourself right now, man, that are actually able to find that dream partner, actually able to get that dream body, because the body is just an external representation, a vessel of ourselves. What we actually do, though, man, is what I focus on isn't just so much on the outside, it's on the inside as well, in the mind. So I focus on getting that mind right, because that physical health goes in hand in hand with that mental health, that goes hand in hand with that emotional health. So I'm going to say, man, it's not a fact that you need a six-pack right now. It's more of a fact that you want to be that better version for yourself. Because you've put on 8 to 10 kilos now, I'd say one thing as well is that the problem you face is you're going to continue to put weight on as time goes on, and then something else will pop up, something new will pop up. You might have family, you might have kids. And then are you going to be the best example for your future kids?
No, man, I think you're probably right about that too, to be honest.
So 10, 15, 20 kilos down the track, the representation of ourselves, because you think, this is something that I realize is that not all partners, or not all, we run patterns. We run what's called patterns. So in life, we have what's called patterning. So we run continuous patterns. So every time something gets hard, we go back to an unresourceful pattern. Every time something gets tough, we go back to that unresourceful state. Where we're at right now isn't where we're always going to be. So if I'm telling you right now, it's not just a health and fitness program to help you get fucking ripped, to help you get six-pack abs, but it's more of a lifestyle transformation, would that be more appealing?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That sounds fucking way better.
So I don't work with everybody and anybody, bro. And that's the thing, man. Because the fact is, I know that you want this one. Because you wouldn't want to be 28, 29 next year, looking to get a partner by the time we're 29, have kids by 32, 3 years down the track, 3 months to do a program. All of a sudden, you've set your life up and you're actually achieving the things you want. That sounds a lot more appealing than six-pack abs, yeah?
Shit, yeah, man. That sounds awesome.
So if you were to think about that now, bro, what price point would you put on that?
You'll almost pay any money for it, to be honest.
Exactly, bro. And that's the thing. Once you place that representation for yourself of what you want to do, that's how you're able to do it. All right, cut. So guys, see, I just allowed him to chunk well down from the original six-pack abs all the way down to the bottom. And sorry if you get a bit emotional there, big man. My apologies.
No, that was good.
But then I allowed him to attach, as I said, from his conscious mind to his subconscious mind, and then get his subconscious mind to become a conscious belief pattern, allowed it to actually represent. So guys, that's what I mean. You don't need to objection handle anymore. That's a bullshit belief, because if you actually tap into the true essence of the person, you don't have objections. Like, you said it yourself. I asked you how much money you'd pay. Like, I believed you when you'd say it. You'd pay anything, because now my health and fitness program, my mindset program, my holistic health program is now giving you the opportunity to have kids, have a partner, everything that you're wanting. Because everybody goes to the gym or does something like that based upon a past experience of a relationship where they've fucking broken up with someone. You get it. All the boys, what's that saying, Benno? You love it. It's like bodybuilders are built after breakups.
Yeah.
Like, it's dead set. Like, dead set. Like, think about that. So this is a health and fitness component, but you can do this for anything. So guys, it's about finding that true connection of what that person needs.
Yeah.
That's why you don't need to objection handle if you could correctly go deep enough with these people.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That gives me a lot of clarity. Thanks for that.
No worries, brother. What else have we got for me, guys? Who wants to step into the ring? Who wants to be next? Or are we feeling good? If that's the case, guys, if we've got enough from this call, we've all got enough value, feel free to reach out to me, flick me a message. I'll send through the link after I upload it to YouTube. But Sweet. Thank you so much for everyone being on tonight. Hopefully this helps to not make sales. And as I said yesterday on the live with Benno, but to change lives, because this is a powerful tool to be able to use. And that's what this is about. We're all coaches on here and we're looking to change lives. So use the tool to understand the person and don't treat them like a dollar sign and don't treat them like somebody that's going to pay your next check. Treat them like somebody, it's a person that has emotions, that has feelings, and allow yourself to connect to them, because that's what this is about. It's about changing lives. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, man. That was awesome. Thanks very much.
No worries.